So welcome back class 10th students in our chemistry class, and in continuation this is our 7th lecture. The chapter is same, acid, bases and salts. So today we will deal with the leftover portion of chemical properties of acids and bases. So already we have started chemical reaction of acids, so that we will continue the chemical properties of acids and bases. So one by one I will be going through the reactions. I have written all the reactions, and if whatever the reaction will have concepts in it, so I will give you the explanation at that time. So let's see. So in this, first of all, we will deal with action of dilute acids on salts, or we can say action of salts on dilute acids, and because we are dealing with the chemical properties of acids. The first heading is decomposition of carbonates and hydrogen carbonates. So whenever carbonate or hydrogen carbonate is reacted with dilute acid, we get salt plus water and CO2. So decomposition of carbonates and bicarbonates with hydrochloric acid, it will give salt plus. Now dear students, if you go through this reaction, if you go to the mechanism of this reaction, first of all you will notice that it is a type of double decomposition reaction. This is and in double decomposition reaction what happens, there is an exchange of radicals in fact. So if you see Ca plus plus, CO3 minus minus, I am telling about this, then H plus, Cl minus. So what happened? Ca plus plus is combining with this Cl, thereby CaCl2 is being formed, and H and CO3 combines to form H2CO3. This and this combine to form H2CO3. Now this carbonic acid is a very unstable one, so it immediately decomposes to give H2O plus CO2. So this is the mechanism of this reaction. That's why we say that it gives CaCl2 plus H2O plus CO2. So it's a type of double decomposition reaction. Now in this reaction, one important thing, my suggestion is that you please note down these reactions. And so I was telling about that we can generalize it, decomposition of, but dear students, if one important one, if the salt which is being formed, if it is insoluble, means it is settling down as a precipitate, then the reaction will stop. It will not proceed further. This is an important fact. So if you find some reactions like, suppose in the case of lead carbonate, this is a very important point, it will not react with HCl and H2SO4 dilute. Being insoluble, it will not react, the salt which will be formed will be insoluble, so it's a very important one, it will not react with. Similarly, we have calcium carbonate, it will not react with H2SO4. Calcium sulfate is being formed, which is an insoluble, it settles over the marble chips with, and it does not allow the reaction to proceed further. So this is a very important point. Now let us see the next one, decomposition of sulfides and bisulfides. The next heading is decomposition of sulfides and bisulfides. So as in carbonates and hydrogen carbonate, it was giving salt, water and CO2. Here we get salt, water and SO2. So you can generalize it, that decomposition of sulfides and sulfides. TES है, DES की मैं बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. तो calcium this plus HCl, calcium chloride plus H2O plus SO2. There is a liberation of sulfur dioxide. So this is also, you can generalize it. Then we have decomposition of sulfides. Here we have talked about sulfides, and this is a talk about sulfides as DES. So metal sulfide reacts with acid to give salt and hydrogen sulfide. If you go to the example, so zinc sulfide, plus HCl gives zinc sulfate plus H2S gas. So this is also a very good example of double decomposition reaction, because if you see Zn plus 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 S minus minus plus H plus plus Cl minus, these are the 9. So exchange of radical is taking place. See, Zn reacts with Zn plus Cl combines ZnCl2, and here H and S H2S. So this is also a exchange of radical double decomposition reaction. So this is also the decomposition of sulfides. Now we have some more reactions for the acids. Now let us see about the chlorides. This is, I have written, you can see the heading, chlorides. Chlorides do not react with any of the dilute acids. Mark it, important. Nitrates do not react with dilute acids. Mark it, important. So one by one I will deal it. So first one is chlorides do not react with any of the dilute acids. Dilute acids say chlorides, but there is an exception also, or you can say some reactions happen in this way. NaCl, it is also chloride. It reacts with H2SO4 in concentrated mode. Dilute acids and react with concentrated H2SO4 say less than 200 degrees Celsius, NaHSO4 plus HCl. और फिर second step में NaCl plus H2SO4 greater than 200, this will form salt. Now this reaction you can say it's happening in 2 steps. If you remember the mechanism which I have told you about acid, salt, and then NaH plus, first ionization, second ionization, if you remember that explanation which I have given earlier, so you will be able to go through this reaction very easily by your own. So it is happening with constant. And what is the meaning of less than 200? Means that the temperature is 200, less than 200 degrees Celsius. It's a very important reaction, both of it. So means we are not getting sufficient amount, so the reaction is taking place and it is being stopped. But at greater than means now there is more collision, so the reaction is bound to happen. So this successive step also takes place. Then the second, nitrates. Again, nitrates do not react with dilute acids. But here what we see, that lead nitrate, in case of lead nitrate there is an exception. Lead nitrate reacts with dilute acid to give its respective salt, and all are basically the example of double decomposition reaction. See, lead nitrate plus 2HCl gives PbCl2 plus 2HNO3. So you can cram it that although nitrates do not react with dilute acids, but here lead nitrate reacts with dilute acids to give. And one more important reaction, nitrates with concentrated sulfuric acid produce more volatile nitric acid. We have seen here in the preparation of acids. In the preparation of acids we have gone through this reaction. So this reaction is, the chemical properties means H2SO4 and HNO3. So non-volatile, more volatile, and we have studied there as a displacement reaction. So I hope you must have understood. So this is all about the chemical properties of acids. Now we will deal with the chemical properties of bases, or some chemical reactions of bases. So now we will deal with the chemical properties of bases, and we will see some of the reactions. The reaction of bases are very important at your level, and because most of the reaction, the precipitation reaction, we will be dealing in the next chapter for analytical chemistry. So dear students, the reactions which so many reactions you are going through it and I am also taking my time to make you aware of each and every reaction. And if you learn by heart and you understand the mechanism of all the reactions of acid and bases, preparation, each and everything, and in further session you have salts. So believe me, you are covering at least 20 to 26 marks question in your board. This acid, bases and salts and the analytical chemistry. Plus, if you make a concept, it will be very helpful for further studies in chemistry. So try to go through it very seriously. Now, alkalis absorb CO2 from air to form carbonates. What does it mean? Means that when we have alkalis, basically strong alkalis. What are strong alkalis? The alkalis of sodium, potassium, they are the strong one, right? And calcium and ammonium, they are weaker ones. So when they are placed in contact with the atmosphere, so air has CO2, so with the CO2 of air they react and form carbonates. A very good example of this is in the case of whitewashing. If you have been to this process of whitewashing in earlier days, now we have putty and all those things, but in earlier days we go for whitewashing, चूना कली जिसको बोलते थे. तो what was there? कैल्शियम ऑक्साइड को रिएक्ट कराते थे वाटर से. If you remember, we get calcium hydroxide. This was an exothermic reaction, and this calcium hydroxide, जिसको हम चूना बोलते थे, it was applied on the walls. Now, when on application on the wall, it was in a wet state. Now, what it does, when being applied, it reacts with carbon dioxide from the air to form calcium carbonate. और देखो, अगर याद हो या विलेजेस वगैरह में, जिसका बेस विलेज में हो, तो अभी भी चूना गली होता है, तो वहाँ पे इट फॉर्म से थिक, इसको बोलते हैं कि पपड़ी. तो इट बिकम्स थिक एंड ड्राई. हाउ इट बिकम थिक एंड ड्राई? ड्यू टू द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट. ये जो कैल्शियम हाइड्रोक्साइड था, ये क्या करता था? CO2 से रिएक्ट करता था और ये बना देता था कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट प्लस वाटर, और वाटर ऑपरेट हो जाता था इस टाइम पास से, तो वो बिल्कुल फिक्स हो जाता था. सो दैट इज अ वेरी गुड एग्जाम्पल for alkalis absorb CO2 from air to form carbonate. Then we have neutralization reaction. So many times we have studied acid plus base react with salt and water to give salt and water. So no need to go for the explanation. But my dear students, this precipitation reaction is very, very important for analytical chemistry. For that, all the laboratory in the whatever the experiment we will be doing, and the 3B, the analytical chemistry, we will be dealing with the precipitates. We will be identifying the cations by the color of the precipitates so formed. For example, Fe plus 2, we get dirty green precipitate. Fe plus 3, we get reddish brown precipitate, and so on. Lead and all this gelatinous white precipitate. Now, and we deal it with drop by drop, and we with NaOH, we have to deal with NaOH and NH4OH. First we apply drop by drop when we go for excess, and we check whether it is soluble or insoluble. So what I have written here, suppose that reaction COCO plus NH4OH gives this plus CO2, precipitation reaction. Now there is important thing that amphoteric hydroxide dissolve in excess of QH of but other hydroxide do not. क्या कह रहा है? जो कि प्रेसिपिटेट होता है वो क्या होता है? इनसॉल्युबल होता है. बट जब अल्कली से रिएक्ट करता है, जो भी प्रेसिपिटेट बनता है हैवी मेटल्स के, इसीलिए वो प्रेसिपिटेट की तरह सेटल हो जाते हैं, क्योंकि वो हैवी मेटल्स के होते हैं, राइट, हैवियर मेटल. लेकिन जब उनको हम एक्सेस में, NaOH के एक्सेस में करते हैं, तो एम्फोट्रिक वाले जो होते हैं, एम्फोट्रिक हाइड्रोक्साइड्स डिसॉल्व इन एक्सेस ऑफ KOH और पता. तो एम्फोट्रिक जितने भी हाइड्रोक्साइड्स होंगे, तो एक एग्जांपल लिया, सपोज करो जिंक SO4, इसको रिएक्शन कराया पहले इनिशियल, तो क्या बना? Na2SO4 प्लस जिंक हाइड्रोक्साइड, ये जिलेटिनस व्हाइट प्रेसिपिटेट. अब इस जिलेटिनस व्हाइट प्रेसिपिटेट जो हमारा बना, इससे हमें पता चला कि जिंक. तो कन्फर्मेटरी टेस्ट हम इससे करते हैं कि ये जो है इसको एक्सेस में हमने फिर NaOH में इसको पास कराया, तो वहां पे क्या हुआ? इट विल बिकम सॉल्युबल. So this reaction. So these things we will study in deep in the just coming chapter 3B, that is the analytical chemistry. That's why I am emphasizing कि whatever the reactions are being given to you, you go through it very seriously and try to learn it, practice it and cram it. Then first try to understand the concept and then cram it. Then we have the last one, when alkalis are bound with ammonium ये NH3 का प्रोडक्शन का सारे रिएक्शंस हैं कि जब भी किसी अल्कोहलिस को अमोनियम सॉल्ट के साथ रिएक्ट करते हैं तो वी हैव सॉल्ट प्लस वाटर प्लस लिबरेशन ऑफ अमोनिया गैस. फॉर एग्जाम्पल वी हैव NH4Cl, NOS से रिएक्ट कराया NaCl प्लस. फॉर एग्जाम्पल वी हैव अमोनियम सल्फेट, QH से रिएक्ट कराया, we get salt plus water and liberation of ammonia gas. So you can go through this reaction, you can write the reaction and you can learn it, understand it, cram it. So this is all about the physical and chemical properties of acids and bases. Now go through it, try to learn it, try to understand it. And dear students, tomorrow we will be dealing with our new topic. Most probably I will be taking the I will try to give some concepts of acid rain. Then we have indicators some, and then we have pH. So the introductory part is to be given to you. So tomorrow we will be dealing with that, and then we have salts. So that's all for today. Thank you very much.